There is an island just a short ferry ride from Istanbul called Buyukada. One day in the summer of 2019, Roisin and I took a boat there. We looked in wonder at the clapboard houses, the flowers, the way cars were banned and everyone went around in these little scooters. We discovered that Leon Trotsky had lived there after his exile, and we went to look at his house where a stranger dared me and then helped me to climb over the wall and break in. I ripped out a nice page from the rough guide so I can carry it with me, because it's important to travel light. Buyukada, which means Great Island, known to the Greeks as Principo, Prince's Island, is the largest of the islands and has long been inhabited by minorities. It has traditionally been a place of retreat or exile, and Leon Trotsky lived here from 1929 to 1933 when he began to write his History of the Russian Revolution. And this is his house. She's got Trotsky flowers in her hair. There I was, in a little slice of history, all alone in an abandoned ruin on an island, the sun beating down, the sea lapping below me. In the evening, we realized we were going to miss our boat back to the city, and a kind man rowed us and two women we'd met back to the port. Are you ready? What's going on? With Roisin and I sitting on the trunk. We looked ridiculous perched there, and as we drove across the island, everyone laughed and waved. On the boat home, I pondered that little island, its idiosyncrasies, its magic. It is often said that there is no such thing as a geographic cure, I wrote. I knew it was strange to act as though there were some places on Earth that were simply different, where things were more magical. I knew that magic and wonder is something that we create for ourselves, yet Buyukada seemed like another world, like a dream to me. Later that month, my mum came to visit and we went back to Buyukada for a few nights. We stayed in the home of a man named Talat, who guided us up the hill and then sat in the garden, our bags around us, and poured us a glass of water and invited us to look out at the view as jazz played softly on a boombox. We had not yet seen the inside of the house, but he was in no hurry. Such was Talat's pace, such was Talat's respect for the idyll in which he lived. In my notebook I began a page titled Things Talat Said. He was so wise and profound. In this house there was a writing desk, in the shadow of trees overlooking the sea and Istanbul beyond it. Roisin, being the real adventurer, wanted to explore as much as she could, but my mum and I immediately recognized the desk as our destination. It was our fantasy, a place so beautiful and a desk to sit and to express your wonder. One morning I got up early and climbed up the hill through the trees, listening to Manos Hadjidakis and Mamma Mia. I danced sillily on my own to Never on Sunday and to Turkish singer Selda Bajgan. I listened to the cicadas and breathed in the summer air. At one point, and this is a little embarrassing, I even sat down and sang ABBA's My Love My Life to the sea. I was so swept away. I have a friend, Mathilde, who falls in love fast and hard, a true romantic like ones you read about in novels. It can't help but command your respect, I think, that kind of romantic approach to any single facet of life. That's how I felt on that hillside. I felt swept away with love. I truly deeply felt as though for me there lay in azure seas and rugged cliffs a sort of destiny, a profound connection. It is often said that there is no such thing as a geographic cure. that you cannot run from yourself, that wherever you go, your problems will follow. And it is true that to a certain extent I was plagued with the same worries as home, and with the same illness. But you underestimate the power of wonder, of romance, of being swept away. You undervalue, sir, the power of falling in love with the world in a fresh way, so much that you would sing to a cliff, to an ocean, so much that you would scrawl down the words of a stranger, so much that you would see poets and poetry in every man, in every rock. Those are my favourite places. Places with those types of trees, dry ground, cicadas, the poetic people who take time to look at the sea. As I write this, it is a year later. It has been almost 100 days since the beginning of lockdown. Today, I looked through my phone and hard drives for videos to edit and found memories of Buyukada. And they transport me most of all to that moment on the hill, to that feeling of wonder. This is not an era that I feel a burning desire to sing to fall in love with, and that's okay. But let's not undervalue the power of wonder. It won't be a cure, but sometimes it's enough just to be able to look at the world and be in love.
I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea in the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking, and a grey mist on the sea's face and a grey dawn.
Merhaba, nasılsınız?
Teşekkür ederim. Siz nasılsınız? Hoş geldiniz.
I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying, and the flung spray and the blown spume and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and a quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trek is over.
Aww,
That's cute, isn't it?
that's lovely. Hello.